The EU and India have signed a historic trade deal. Negotiations have been ongoing intermittently for nearly 2 decades, but were relaunched in 2022, finally successfully concluded on January 27th of this year. The agreement has been hailed by European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen as creating a free trade zone of 2 billion people, covering India's population as well as EU's 27 member states, and representing about 25% of global GDP, a combined market of nearly $27 trillion. Indian Prime Minister called it a historic milestone. It was not formally signed that day. Formal signing is expected later in 2026 after all the legal scrubbing and vetting and all of that stuff, and ratification by the European Parliament, EU member states, etc., etc. But the implementation is set to go into force in 2026 or by early 2027. The deal focuses on goods, services, and related rules. It eliminates or reduces tariffs on a high percentage of trade. On the EU side, tariffs would be eliminated or reduced on like 96 to 99% of goods by value from India. On the Indian side, it's going to cover 99+% of Indian exports by value. So crazy thing that these guys have got going that is really going to lead into the change and balance of power between the US and the rest of the world, China and the rest of the world. Having India show up on the stage and get this kind of deal with the EU really is a big deal and is yet another sign of the fact that things are changing. I mean, we're talking about benefiting labor-intensive sectors like textiles, gems, jewelry, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, electronics, processed goods, tea, coffee, spices, all of it. It is going to be wild to see how all of this plays out in the marketplace. So buckle up, everybody, as the dollar continues to decline, hitting a 4-year low, as gold continues to rise, as Canada is over negotiating with China. The EU is inking a historic deal. This is what I talk about when I'm saying that there are going to be second and third order consequences to trying to bully the world. If the US continues down that path, people are going to find alternatives. While alternatives will hasten everybody retreating into their own corners and having to fight on maybe a more even playing field where the US will be able to muscle people a little bit easier, seeing things like this show that the US is not going to remain the only game in town for very long. So pay close attention. If you invest, make sure that you're watching macro trends, as it really is going to matter.